Hello, America, and welcome to the Reality Check. The reality is the truth as we see it. I'm Mike Scully, I'm the host, and today I got my guys back in studio. But we have one substitution. We lost Free Shoes John. He is wandering around Europe, chasing his son Jack around, playing a little soccer, and maybe wind up in Dublin. But we substituted in another one of Chief Osceola's favorites, Mr. Mark King. Welcome, Kinger.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here.
You can see he's still got that same garnet and gold crap that John wears in the studio with us each week.
Go Knowles.
We traded up.
We traded up.
I got you, John. They didn't have to go very far away.
But also, too, we got the boy we always find wandering around Mobile with that USA edumacation. My man, The Trick.
Very happy to be here, Scully. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
And always ready to throw down some knowledge. The wise man, Yoda, Mr. Carl J-Nic Nicolosi.
That's Bruce Willis to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he's got good cards, that's Bruce Willis.
And then
Let's do it.
And then also, as always, on the board, the owner of Shooter's Bar and Grill, The Shooter.
It's a beautiful day, boys. Happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you guys. I'm going to get started off on a little bit of a rant, and then we'll... earlier in the week, obviously, you guys know how near and dear baseball is to my heart, and this is more about what's going on, I think, nationally in the country. But Jarren Duran from the Boston Red Sox was suspended for getting into a verbal altercation with somebody heckling him from the on-deck circle. Now, you're a fan, you pay your deal, and you get to come in. I've been on both sides of this, and it's ridiculous. But the young man, I got to give him credit, stood up, took the heat for it, said something he shouldn't have said, and we've moved on. But the question I have is, when is all of this cancel crap going to end? We all make mistakes. Hell, I have made plenty in my life and have been held accountable. I mean, trying to be a good dad. I was a terrible husband, but try to be a good dad. But, in this society, we've got to get back to civility and treating people right. Then I come on the show just before we break out of the green room, and I find out that ESPN has fired my girl, Sam Ponder, and they cite contract reasons. Well, that's just a load of bullshit right there.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I would have said monkey shit.
Well, monkey shit's one thing. But again, that comes down to making decisions based on offending somebody. And I'm tired of the people being soft. I'm tired of the country being soft. It just comes down to one simple rule, ladies and gentlemen, and it's something my father told me a long time ago. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And I'm gonna steal a line from my boy Pat McAfee and say something nice to somebody, because you may change their life. And that's how we have to interact. I don't care if you're blue, red, purple, green, or yellow. Be nice to people. And gentlemen, I need to take a break after that. When we come back, we're going to get into college football, the Olympics breakdown. We're going to do fantasy with kickers and defenses. But that's enough for me right now. I am fuming hot.
Love it.
See you shortly.
Settle down, big guy.
All right.
Simmer down.
Goose Fraba.
Well, we're back. The boys took me to the green room and took me over the wood and took me out to the woodshed, so I've calmed down now. We're going to get into having some fun and breaking things down in the world of sports. But that some of this stuff's just driving me crazy. Trying to raise 3 great kids, and they're great kids, whatever. But it's this world they're living in. I feel sorry for my grandchildren. All right, guys, let's break down what happened in Paris. Let's get into some positive stuff, some funny stuff. I mean, obviously, we won the medal count, tied the Chinese for the golds, but won the overall medal count. Give me a little breakdown. I mean, obviously, there was some really cool things that happened. The women's 4x100, that Sha'Carri Richardson.
Smoke show.
Oh, my God.
Smoking!
Wow.
She is amazing. I
mean,
she's got some wheels.
Yeah, she took a look at the field when she ran by him.
I like to run, but she can run fast.
She can run faster.
She can run really fast.
Yeah. Then we got to break into the. I know, Patrick, you're going to get mad at me, but we're going to women's soccer.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that's okay because you know what? They finally won the gold, which is great. They finally cut the cancer out, which was good. Yeah. And lo and behold, they won the gold medal again. So, moral of the story, if you have cancer, get it cut out, you survive. You don't, you die. That's what they were doing.
Did they have the purple cancer, Patrick?
They did.
Just checking.
Well, sometimes blue,
cancer.
But usually purple.
Purple, blue, pink, whatever.
Yeah.
You cut the cancer, you win.
Okay.
But, Shooter was telling us in dry runs last night that obviously they made a big coaching change. She came in, made some really good decisions, went with young players. That Trinity Rodman, Dennis's daughter, was incredible. Got rid of Alex Morgan, the other gal with the purple hair. She had already retired, but that cancer, as you said.
Well, Alex wasn't the cancer.
Yeah, Alex wasn't the cancer. She was the face of the U.S. women's team.
No pun intended.
And the body.
Kind of the cure.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. But nonetheless, I mean, the new coach did put together a phenomenal.
But she changed the
squad.
mentality of that team. They got soft. They got entitled. They were listening to garbage from terrible leadership, and they brought in all the young girls, and now it's all full steam ahead.
Well, Shooter, they didn't get paid enough. They were upset.
That's right.
Right. All right.
Yeah, but there were so many highlights. I mean, obviously both men's and women's basketball teams won gold.
Crushed it. The women got exceptionally lucky. They played a good team in France, but luckily she was inside the three-point line, or they might not have won it.
You never know.
We have a news flash.
Oh.
So in the Olympics, we were tied with China with 40 golds, but it has just come out that we actually did win another gold. We won the women's boxing.
Oh,
because it's come out that it was actually Colin Kaepernick. So go USA. We go 41 gold medals.
That Albanian does look a lot like him without the fro. You're not wrong.
Shooter, that's some funny shit right there.
Pair of clippers. You're dead.
You take off that 1974 Jackson's fro. That's he won gold.
Well, we won't get into it. We already touched a couple weeks ago on the opening ceremony. We'll leave that alone. But how about the pole vaulter? That cleared everything but
just the tip.
Dong.
I wouldn't let my wife watch that.
I mean,
it's a long one.
That is a long one.
A long
that's
break.
what he said.
They loved it.
That's what he said.
That's what the pole vaulter said.
Just the tip killed him, Scully. He wanted to play a game and he lost.
But
Carl, don't let your wife watch that.
I know she would.
That poor guy's going to be, for the rest of his life, have to deal with that clip alone.
Okay, but come on. If there's a clip you have to deal with, say you have
Sign
a big Johnson or a Jimmy, that's a good problem to have.
Sign me up. Yeah.
Right. Trust me. If he were only a grower, he would have cleared the bar. Apparently, he's not.
I wonder how many hits he had, and I'm not talking about.
Not talking about the pole.
Right.
Dirk Diggler 2 is in making right now.
I'm a star. I'm a star. I'm a star.
Right. Shining star.
And then obviously our dominance again. They regained in the pool. Gold medals.
Katie Ledecky. Oh, my goodness.
Well, hold on a second. Kinger, hold on.
Stand by.
1,000. 2,000.
The girls that took second and third just touched the wall.
I don't think you paused enough, Scully, to be honest with you.
You got to get to 6.
Solid 10.
I only got to 2.
A solid 10 seconds.
I mean, she was actually had almost caught her breath by the time the second and third ladies touched the wall.
Shit, she was out of the pool drying off. What are you talking about?
Could have taken a shower and jumped back in.
They already were playing the anthem, right? The national anthem.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that was incredible.
Although, to me, the highlight of the Olympics was the Australian breakdancer chick.
Oh, that's some funny shit on TikTok
who did
right now.
toe touches and did anything. She got a 0 for a score. A 0. You might as well not even shown up. A 0. How do you get a 0 in an Olympic sport?
She was there. She was there.
She was there.
Yeah, she was
but
there.
Apparently, is that like baseball? It doesn't count because they didn't get a hit?
Only 3 people get medals, Patrick.
Oh, my bad.
Everybody else, they might as well do toe touches. Doesn't matter.
Well, that sport's already been shit canned for the 28 Olympics.
4 years.
Solely because of her.
Thank goodness.
We have a news flash in.
Uh-oh.
That breakdancer was Colin Kaepernick.
He strikes again. Oh my goodness.
Oh, boy.
He did 2 events?
Wait, was it just kneel down, stand up, kneel down, stand up?
That's exactly what it was. Well, in a couple of toe touches.
That was, and then how about the closing ceremony? I have to give the French a little credit because they redeemed themselves off of that debacle of the opening ceremony. Because we talked about it. I asked Carl last night. I mean, I didn't watch the Olympics maybe for the first 2 or 3 days because I was just like, what the hell was that? And then finally,
totally turned off.
Finally got into it. Obviously, when our girls started kicking ass in the pool, I love the swimming part of that.
Scully almost dressed today in a cape like that guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Running around.
The Savannah Bananas?
No, the cape that the opening ceremony guy.
Yeah,
running around with a cape, and you saw him.
Oh, you're talking about the Savannah Bananas.
out.
That dude that bats with a cape. He's funny. He's
no,
pretty
that's
good.
funny.
But you had 62-year-old Tom Cruise, the man, standing on the top of the roof of the stadium, jumps off. I mean, it was the Mission Impossible deal all over again.
Dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun.
So
Did he get the lady? Did he get the woman?
He got the woman. Yes, he
Usually
did.
does.
Ends up in Los Angeles, hands the flag off, which was pretty cool.
That was a fast plane ride. I'm just saying.
Imagine what they can do with cameras. Look
Right.
what Gentry does with us.
No kidding.
You make this look pretty? That's not easy. Is like Charles Barkley told me one time flying on a plane, I can't drink you pretty, big fella.
Okay, but how good was Scheffler? When he won the gold and he was on the podium holding the box, whatever that box is.
We found out it was actually a poster of the Olympic Games.
A poster of Colin
40
Kaepernick.
centimeters?
40 centimeters.
40
Which I
centimeters,
still know how
yes.
big that is, but
40
okay.
centimeter box.
Of a poster?
40 centimeters is for the pole vaulters. You can relate that way.
Probably not as big as a pole vaulter.
It was
Probably
really
not.
cool.
But
Okay, but how awesome was that for him to be that emotional?
shoot 62 in the final round.
To bring home the gold for us and just be a proud American, which, actually I will say that for this Olympics, that what I saw, everyone that was for Team USA seemed to be genuinely proud to represent our country, which in years past has not been the case. But this year, I was really happy to see that. Because it's not the athlete's fault. The opening ceremony isn't the athlete's fault.
And for an individual sport like that you're just truly proud to represent your country, it doesn't mean a whole lot for him. But, man, it meant a lot for him in terms of the country.
Agreed.
Oh, absolutely.
Agreed.
I mean,
And
did you see the emotion? I mean,
it was phenomenal.
Tournament after
Tears in his
tournament
eyes.
after tournament, and he doesn't show that kind of emotion.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I'm so happy for him because think about the year the poor kids had. Not the poor kid. That's a bad reference.
Ups and downs, if you
mean,
will.
He looks good in orange. What are you talking about, Scully?
He wins the Masters.
Right?
Okay. And then he's the odds-on favorite in Louisville, and then gets a mugshot,
Which was ridiculous.
which was the stupidest thing. And then obviously has his first baby with his beautiful wife. They have their first child, and the ups and downs of that. And now, great transition. There started the FedEx Cup rounds, opening rounds today started. So the playoffs.
And
the
he's
top
won
70.
right now, right?
When we came on the
in
air,
the FedEx Cup standings.
he's leading. Yes.
Yeah, he's
He
the
was-
number one
yeah.
player.
Yeah, him and Xander are
1-2.
1-2.
That's what I
and I
thought.
think Rory's 3.
Yes, you are correct.
As they transition back now to the States and we get the FedEx Cup, they're in Memphis for the first round.
Yeah, how does that work out now? Because I know they changed it, Scully.
He's not real happy about it, by the way.
How does it work? Because I know it was 120, now it's 70 or something. How does it work?
It goes 70, and then after this weekend they'll go to the low 50.
So you could be 45 now and play your way into 51 and not make the next week's tournament.
And not make the next week's
And
tournament.
conversely, the same way.
Same way, and then the final, and so they go to Denver next week, which is going to be a huge treat because for you golf fans out there, the old International played at Castle Pines and Castle Rock out there in Colorado. It's the Denver area. Castle Pines is one of the most beautiful golf courses, clubhouses, just great people at Castle Pines. Keith Schneider and his team there I've been blessed to know him for a while.
That's awesome.
And they're excited, I think, to be back in the realm of being on TV. So they'll put on a phenomenal show. But that's the second wave. That's the top 50. Then leaving Castle Pines, the top 30 go to Atlanta to Eastlake to play the finals.
Very nice.
And then at least Eastlake, that's where they get ranked based. They start at the certain 10 under, 7 under, depending on where they are on the 1 through 30 list.
Got it.
He voiced his displeasure in this whole thing, considering what he's had this whole year. Mm-hmm. He just thinks it's just nonsense.
of having to do what they're doing now.
Chef.
Yeah, it's like he said, "Why are we doing this? Look what I've done this year. Why are we doing this? Some guy can go out in a tournament and win all this."
He said it was silly. Didn't
I'll
he
give you
say it was
15
silly?
million reasons why you're doing it.
Patrick, you're light by 10. It's 25
Well,
million.
Once again, they
5 million.
changed it again. I'll give you 25 reasons why you do it.
25 million for first place.
And quit complaining because you're number one. That means you're getting the biggest lead. I don't understand.
1.75 to the guy who finishes 10th. You know, that used to be a huge number when a guy won a tournament. Now you're getting that for 10th place. So that's why, the rich get richer in that sense.
Yeah,
But
good for the boys.
yeah,
I agree. Good for them.
Wait, can I Tanya Harding his caddy? I'll take 10%.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
take him out.
2.5 doesn't suck to carry a bag.
He's got a great caddy.
I can read a putt. I just can't putt. So
Right.
I
I live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
You better turn that around on
Hey,
Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm glad you're not my partner this Saturday.
Easy, shooter. I got you, big fella.
You don't have him. You got to play your own ball. Shooter's rules this week. You changed the format from that nice, relaxing scramble to a shamble.
A shamble.
It is a sham bull.
Bull.
Oh.
Yeah, so you get the benefit of a good drive, but both of you are in the shit. Oh, you were both in the shit.
Oh no, that's all right. I got
Enjoy
it, so.
yourself.
All right.
You're gonna melt by number 9.
It'll be
anyway.
Like the witch from Wizard of Oz.
a big puddle of Scully on the side.
Oh yeah.
Sleeves would be rolled up.
Hey, that's a big
Face
puddle. You
would be-
might drown in that.
Face would be all red, hair looking like the heat miser.
Like the-
Should I bring my water wings?
You better bring your water wings
If you're
because
playing after him, that puddle's too deep for you, Carl.
you know the drill. I damn near didn't make it out of old corkscrew. Boys almost lost me on that Saturday. My kids were almost my ex-wife was probably
Mike-
almost getting the life insurance.
Mike Urban almost got beat up, for God's sake, saying the wrong thing.
Yes. Yes. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to the next segment. As we go to break, there's a couple things we want to do. We need to ask you to please like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. And this next break, thanks to our friend over at Coastal Title, Mr. Bob Hamer.
Bobby.
Big Bad Bobby. We thank you.
Bobby.
And we'll be back in just a minute.
Go, Robert.
As we transition to college football. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, baby.
Go Noles.
And we are back. Again, we want to thank our friends over at Coastal Title and Big Bad Bobby Hamer. Thank you, Robert, for everything you've done for us. And if you're in town, you need to get your house closed on, you got to go see Coastal Title. Gentlemen, let's transition to college football. We're a little over a week away. And I know our substitute, Chief Osceola 2, is going to be...
I'll be on a flight.
You'll be on a flight.
Heading to Dublin.
What you need to do, I learned today, you're going to be in there the 23rd?
Fly the 22nd. Get there the 23rd.
23rd,
Yes,
5 p.m. Dublin time. J.R. Mahomes. McAfee and his boys are going to be there drinking
Oh, nice.
because they'll do college game day. They'll open up for next first day, obviously, for the ball game. But he put out on Twitter today that his boys are going to be having some Irish pops at J.R. Mahomes.
I will be there.
All right, cool. And I understand that somebody's taking a train from Stockholm to come visit you.
I believe the person that I replaced.
Yes.
I think
All
he's
right.
camping. He's like spelunking right now.
Spelunking.
Spelunking.
He's in the homeless encampment.
Well,
He's at a youth hostel, apparently.
He's on a recon mission. That's what
Right.
he's doing.
is that
Right.
okay?
Youth hostel.
That's some good stuff there. All right. Well,
Love you, Johnny.
obviously we
Love you, Johnny.
get Florida State and Georgia Tech opening up the season. Patrick just threw up in his mouth.
Please learn a new chant, at least another one, so you can have two. For
right,
the love
well-
of God.
Patrick,
Well,
you can drink with your left hand while
We're
you're
gonna
doing
Patrick.
our
We're
chant.
gonna go to your conference now, and we're gonna talk SEC football.
Love it.
Obviously, preseason number 1 is Georgia.
Should be.
There's 4 teams from the SEC in the top 10. You
Yep.
got Georgia, Bama, LSU, and Ole Miss.
Correct.
So you got Texas just lost their second running back. So now they're on, I believe they have, three non-scholarship running backs? Is that
three scholarship running backs total
left on the roster?
Well, they lost 2 to the draft. So replacing them was going to be hard enough as it was, and now the top 2 have gone down?
Yeah.
That's not good.
They had 5, now they've got 3.
Yeah, and
no experience.
And they're going to learn real hard that in their first 4 games, they should be 4-1 before they go to see Oklahoma. And then the SEC schedule kicks in basically from there for them. So it's going to be a tough road. I know a lot of people are high on Texas, and nothing against them personally, but they're going to go from the Big 12 where they play one man's team in Oklahoma all year. No offense to the Big 12, but they're not the SEC. Mm-hmm. And they're going to play 7 Oklahomas. I'm curious to see how they are at the end of the year.
And those poor 3 running backs left are going to get tagged.
They might be using a wide receiver as a running back by the time it's over.
As soon as that second running back went down, all you heard in the locker room, all you heard was,
"Oh."
Sorry.
Who was that?
You heard a "oh shit."
Well, you got, obviously, and I've talked to you guys till I'm blue in the face. I still think Georgia was the best team in the country last year. How they didn't get in after losing 1 game for the first time in 3 years.
To Alabama
in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Still befuddles me, but obviously they're probably the leader in the clubhouse right now going in.
Agreed.
Easily so.
Yeah.
Yep, easily
Absolutely.
so.
You had the big change in Tuscaloosa with Coach retiring.
But I still think the horses are in the stable, so they're going to be solid.
I think the Milrow kid could be special.
Yeah.
You mean Auburn's still thinking about Gravedigger, but...
But that is the problem. So Auburn's going to have a down year. They're still going to be better than any Big 12 team left. Sorry.
Yeah, but we talk about your Gators. They have the hardest schedule in college football, and we're Billy Napier fans.
Yes, it's going to be a hard year for me because I have them winning 3 games. Now, I hope I'm not more wrong. I pray that I am, but looking at the schedule, looking at where they have to go, who they have to play. I mean, 2 of their out of conference. Everyone busts the SEC's balls about they don't play anyone out of conference. Florida plays Miami and Florida State.
Open and finish.
Those are their bookends.
And they got the SEC schedule in between.
Yes, and I think I saw something where their last 5 games of the season, as it is right now ranked, are all in the top 15 currently today.
Patrick went through this many weeks ago with me, and it's murderer's row for Florida.
Is.
Yeah, I feel for you, man. It's going to be a tough season.
I don't feel for him. I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, absolutely. I would rather Florida win, though. Miami can lose every game. They can suck a bag of dicks.
And that's fair. And I like that. And I'm the same way with the Knowles. As long as we don't play each other, I pull for them to win. But, yeah, it's going to be tough. And Billy Napier is a good coach. I think the road if he can go 500, he will have done a phenomenal coaching job this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, now there's a couple that are just there on the periphery that you got questions. Missouri, they're saying, is going to be really good. And
Tennessee, Ole Miss. Ole Miss has the easiest schedule. Plus, they got the best where they steal other players.
The portal.
The portal.
Yeah.
They were the best in the portal of stealing other players from other teams, and they have the easiest schedule. They're going to play in the SEC championship. I'm telling you. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they're going to play in it.
Yeah, I'm as we'll pick our winners, but that's you guys have heard me talk till I'm blue in the face again about Lane Kiffin and what this year is going to be for them, but. So they're going to be there. We talked about Tennessee. You got Missouri. Will Kentucky come back? They bounce back? They had a good year last year.
They had a solid year, but then what about LSU?
Yeah, nobody's talking about LSU. Had a Heisman Trophy winner last year that just kind of went, kind of unnoticed, really.
Meh. Right.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. The SEC is the Big Ten may have more teams, but the SEC is loaded.
And then Beamer Ball 2 out there at South Carolina. Can they come back and can they win the state of South Carolina over Clemson?
I think they can.
I mean, that's a great opening weekend. Obviously, you got week 0 with Florida State and Georgia Tech over in Dublin.
Right.
But that first weekend, you've got Notre Dame goes to Texas A&M.
Loss.
You got Georgia Clemson playing in Atlanta. That opening week.
That'll be a good game.
That's going to be a great game.
Which should be
Florida Miami, which hopefully is a good game.
Is a good game. We'll transition to the Big Ten here in a second. But one game they're not talking about is Penn State plays West Virginia. At West Virginia.
Good old Rocky Top.
That's Tennessee.
I know.
West Virginia.
They're neighbors.
Wrong.
No, you got the wrong song. Check. You need John Denver.
John Denver.
Even though the new MGK and
I'll wear the
and
Yoda
Jelly
mask, my
Rolls
bad, yes.
blend off of that is actually pretty damn good.
It is good.
And not to get off topic, but is Megan Fox really pregnant? She was in the video.
I was nowhere near her, by the way. Nowhere near her,
I did not call on her. She's
for
good.
the record.
Okay, but I one question before we get to the Big Ten. Was Megan Fox in Transformers not the prettiest woman you've ever seen in a movie?
She was spectacular.
I mean, incredible.
As she said in Seinfeld, Terry Hatcher, and they're spectacular.
Real.
Just such a pretty beautiful girl. All right, so Kinger, give me your pick. Who's going to win the SEC?
Man, I got to go Georgia. They beat up on my Knowles so bad last year with the handicap team that we had at the end of the year. But God, they're just reloaded, man.
Yeah,
I think Georgia takes it. It's going to be a tough sled.
that's if Kirby can get the guys to stop speeding around campus in their cars.
Fair point.
He's got a little issue there. Trickster.
I hate to bandwagon it, Georgia, but look out for Alabama because everyone's kind of discounting them because they lost the old ball coach. Original one was Steve Spurrier. I get it, but Saban was phenomenal in the SEC. So they're already discounting him. They're already discounting him because he's not there, and rightfully so because he was a phenomenal coach. But they still have the players. I don't think Alabama plays Georgia. Am I mistaken?
They do.
They do. Oh, nice. Well, that's gonna. Ole Miss is gonna be one team. The winner of the Georgia-Alabama game will be the other in the SEC championship.
Hey, Patrick, does Saban keep all the cheat codes, or does he pass those on?
Oh, he passes.
He passes them down?
100%.
He's not saving them for a rainy day?
He's retired.
He still has an office there in the building.
There
So
you
that's
go.
I'm gonna go with Alabama.
Okay. See, Nick.
I mean, how can you not take Georgia? Beck, and I'm going to look at my cheat sheet here. Beck, first season as a starter, almost 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he's got one of the fastest. He's tied for one of the fastest release, 2.38 seconds. So,
Yoda throwing down some wisdom on the stat sheet today.
yeah, yes.
Attaboy. All right. So we got Bama and Georgia. I'm going with Lane Kiffin. You guys heard me say that. I believe with his great dad passed away a couple months within the last month that there's a lot of karma and things happen for a reason. I'm rooting for Lane and Old Miss to get it done.
Well, they'll play the winner of Georgia-Alabama.
Yeah. So I think it should be good. Should be a great year in the Southeastern Conference. All right, let's transition to my homeboys.
Whoa.
What do you got, Shooter?
I got a sleeper.
Who's your sleeper?
LSU is going to win the SEC championship, even though I can't stand LSU.
$2 bet.
They will have
Wrong.
They will
Lock
have,
it in.
They will have the Heisman quarterback.
Again?
They return offense. Yes, they return a great offense. They got some fantastic defenders in the portal. Watch for them as a sleeper.
Yeah, but you have one thing you're forgetting. Brian Kelly will figure out a way to fuck it up.
Just telling you.
$2.
He ain't wrong.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong there.
So, all right, let's transition to Big Ten country. How about that?
your boys.
Big Ten country that now goes all the way out to
Scully's coming home.
Southern California.
You mean it's in the United States? They should be the coast to coast conference.
They pretty much, yeah, from Rutgers to
Rutgers.
SC to Oregon to Washington. But yeah, how about that travel schedule they're going to have? It's what a challenge. I mean, obviously with the additions of SC, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon come into the conference, there's going to be a lot of East-West travel. We've talked about in other shows about the NFL guys, but the West Coast teams struggling coming east, and then usually the East Coast guys doing better going out because of the time change. But Oregon and Ohio State are there ranked second and third, right behind Georgia, in front of all the rest of the SEC teams that are in the top 10.
To that point, I think it's important that you realize that on name alone, USC it helped the Big Ten. But again, they play no one. Oregon on a football team helped the Big Ten make them stronger. But the other two are just another Rutgers and Maryland. Let's be honest.
Ooh, you're calling USC and UCLA Rutgers and Maryland.
No, the other two.
The other two, Washington
and UCLA.
Yeah, Rutgers and Maryland. I'm saying by
Washington
name.
was just in the national title game.
Yeah, and that happens once every 30 years. I think the last time they were there was in 1999 when they split it with Georgia Tech.
Okay, I'm going to take offense to that though, because when the hell
91, excuse me,
when
91.
the hell was Rutgers and
That's just
freaking
stupid.
Maryland in the national title game?
I think it was the
Never.
first one ever.
Never. That's the point I'm making. Of
1897.
any type of relevance, they're another Rutgers and Maryland, those two. But Oregon is a great addition, and USC on name is another one.
Well, and then obviously Penn State this year. The reason they've struggled is because they couldn't beat Ohio State and Michigan. They don't have to play them this year.
That's right, because they
So-
got rid of the conferences, right?
Yeah, there's no. So they've dodged. I think they've dodged those two bullets.
Well, then, are they playing Oregon?
Ohio State goes out and plays at Oregon.
Okay. What about Penn State?
Penn State, I don't think has Oregon. I think they have Washington.
Then they
On
will
their
play
schedule.
They will play. They will
Washington and Southern Cal.
They're going to play. Penn State, mark it down, will play in the Big 10,
Big 10.
or 18 or 21 or 22, however many teams are in there.
The 32 team.
That they'll play in the big conference, the CCC Coast to Coast Conference national championship game.
How about my Fighting Illini though? Everybody's forgetting them. They're only going off at plus 20,000 to win the Big
20,000
Ten.
to win the Big Ten.
All right, moving on.
Hey.
That's return on investment right there, Scott.
Yeah,
so.
we
Throw down on
actually had a little lunch today
Yeah.
and talked about just maybe throwing a little cheese down
So
on
you're
that one.
saying there's a chance.
Hey, to be like Rutgers and Maryland, we find it like once every 30 years too. So
I agree. I'm telling you.
Maybe Brett found lightning in a bottle, and when we get something done.
I'm
but-
pulling for you, Scully.
Yeah. Well, all right. So give me your. Obviously, the one team you haven't talked about yet is Michigan. They got some shit going on. They got to get solved.
They're trying to throw their coach under the bus. They're going to be head fucked. It's going to be ridiculous.
And can Ryan Day? They've got a loaded roster. Will Howard was just named starting quarterback today.
Yeah.
So, but loaded roster, but have to go to Oregon.
He needs to learn.
He does need to learn.
He does.
You're not
So,
wrong.
can they finally get,
Let the boy watch.
I think
Let
Oregon.
the boy watch.
I think Oregon's overrated.
I mean,
personally.
if Penn State wins the Big Ten, there's not enough beer in frickin' State College to feed that fat ass goon.
That is fair. My buddy Goon, who I love dearly, yes,
Yeah.
he will be double fisting for about 10 hours.
Yeah.
But Goon will be fine. He won't die. He this is a man's man. But
42 pizzas and 27 beers at one setting.
No problem. No problem.
Hence the name Goon.
I got this.
Yeah.
Michigan's gonna have a tough time with that new coach.
I think so.
That's tough shoes to fill. A lot of expectations. He's gonna be overwhelmed. But hey, he's got a ton of talent on that team though.
I think Michigan, or I think Oregon's overrated. It's going to be Ohio State, Penn State, and as history has repeated, Ohio State wins again.
Okay. Patrick's got the Buckeyes. What about you, Kinger?
Yeah, I agree. I think Penn State is always sneaky good. They're always there, and they tend to find a way, but they tend to find a way to screw it up at the end too.
Okay.
So I like Ohio State.
See, Nick, you got any love for my Big Ten boys?
I mean, I'm going to go with the overrated team, Oregon. Dylan Gabriel. I saw the kid play over at UCF. Okay, and unfortunately, that injury really just it was difficult. But nonetheless, I think they have a very balanced, deep, talented team, and Oregon is going to be my lock.
All right. I'm going to give you a true sleeper out of this. And it's not my Illini. God, I'd love to have him be the chance to win the Big Ten, but I'm going to give you a sleeper. It's one of two teams, and they wear the same color. One of these two teams is going to be in the college football playoff and have a chance to make a run. First team is the Badgers, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Homer.
So watch the Badgers.
Scully just gave Shooter wood.
Yeah, he did.
Settle down, Shooter. Settle down, big boy.
Watch this. And I'm going to go back freaking almost 40 years now, but used to be one of the hardest places to play in college football.
If you say Purdue.
I'm going to say Nebraska.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Oh, Scully.
Don't get
Did you
started.
hit your head before you came in here?
I'm telling you, Matt Rule is onto something.
Tommy Frazier is not walking through that door. Lawrence Phillips is not out of jail. He's not walking through that door.
I believe Lawrence Phillips has passed.
Well, God rest his soul if he has. My point is he beat Florida because he should have been in jail, and somehow Tom Osborne got him out. That ain't happening.
3
this
yards in
year.
a cloud
But
of dust.
I'm
You know what that
just-
gets you? Punt on fourth down.
I'm just telling you, I'm going out on a limb.
like the limb. I like the limb.
Everybody's talking the show horses.
Right, the obvious.
I'm
Everybody's showing the obvious.
giving you two sleepers that I think one of those.
I like one of them.
One of those two teams is going to be in the top 12 and be in the college football playoff.
The word is that new quarterback for the Badgers is pretty special.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
But they don't throw the ball; they run it.
No, that's new coaching
That's all
staff
they
up
do is
there.
run the ball.
They've always had great
Shut the hell
offensive
up.
lines.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not dealing with you.
Thank you,
All
Charles.
right, so let's transition because we're not even going to break down the ACC because we know it's Florida State and then the Big 12. Give me your pick, Kinger. Let you sub in and fill in for John. Who wins the whole thing?
The whole show.
Whole enchilada.
Oh my goodness. Well, I got a sleeper, and it is my Knowles.
Okay.
And here's why. We were undefeated going into last season. Yes, we've been crying, and I know my boy Paul Feinbaum said, "Oh, the tears are going to trip them up."
Were they alligator tears? Asking for a friend.
They were. They were. Or it was a trail of tears. How about that, Patrick?
Oh.
It was a trail of tears.
That is more apropos. This is ridiculous.
So they reloaded on Patrick's favorite thing ever, the transfer portal, or he
Ruining
calls it
college football.
the stealing portal.
Yes.
They reloaded there. They got our boy from Clemson.
True story.
Not sure how he's going to do, but
Clemson by way of Oregon State.
by way of Oregon State, I get it. But I think they're gonna show it's going to be an easy path there
To get to the playoff.
to
and
get
see
to the
what happens.
playoffs, and then let's see what happens.
Okay. So on the record, we have Chief Osceola sit in is picking the Knowles.
Sure about that?
I'm sure about
Trickster, throw down some wisdom here.
I still think Alabama
Crystal.
wins the SEC championship. I still stand by that. But I think when the smoke clears, Georgia is going to come victorious.
And win the title.
They got the best running back in the SEC, and they stole him in the stealing portal from Florida and Etienne. And he's a horse. He's phenomenal, not to mention the stats that Yoda gave us on the quarterback that apparently he has a man crush on. They are going to, exactly, they win the national title.
Okay. See, Nick?
I'm going to go with Oregon. All right. I think they do it.
You're living and dying with the Ducks.
I am. I'm doing it.
Apparently, he's a big Donald Duck fan because any team that has Donald Duck as their mascot should always do well because he's so cool he doesn't wear pants.
I don't know how many Oregon
I don't
games
want
have
to
you
pick
watched,
the
Carl?
obvious. Come on.
What are you, like,
I don't want to
3?
pick the obvious.
Hey, I do have a quick question. Donald Duck doesn't wear pants. He just wears a shirt. But when he comes out of the shower, he's wearing a towel. I don't get that. Help me understand that. He wears a towel coming out of the shower.
There's kids watching, Patrick. You can't show that stuff.
But he
man.
wears a shirt with no pants normally because he's a cool duck.
At least he doesn't pole vault, so he's not hiding that.
he doesn't have to worry about
All
this
right, so see, let's get back on track here. See, Nick is on deck with the Oregon Ducks.
Come again.
All right, I'm gonna go to the board. I'm gonna put Shooter on the
Ooh.
spot here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Give me a pick,
Who
Shooter.
got Shooter?
Mr. King, you're going to like me.
Come on, man.
I'm going with the Knowles myself.
There you go, baby.
Bandwagon.
No way.
I've got a sentimental part of it, even though I like the Gators because my boy Billy Napier. But I've always been a huge fan of the late great Bobby Bowden, who passed away. God rest his soul last Thursday. But I believe the Knowles are going to be. They got a huge chip on their shoulder. They're kind of like FU NCAA, FU everybody. Here we go. Chief Osceola's coming for you.
No way. That's not happening.
That's gonna be okay.
Don't be jelly.
All right, so we got two Knowles, the Bulldogs, and the Ducks. I'm gonna stick with my boy Lane Kiffin. I think they're gonna get in the playoff,
I like it.
and I'm going with the Old Miss Rebs. So, all right, when we come back after the break, we're going to get into the NFL, the AFC and NFC West over-unders, guys. So get ready with your picks. And as always, please follow, subscribe, and like to us on YouTube, Instagram, X, all of the social medias. We're out there. And we'll be back right after this. And thanks again to our folks at 3 City Pizza. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you. And we're back. And we want to, again, thank our friends over at 3 City Pizza. If you're in the Fort Myers area, it's a must-do. And I'm a Chicago guy, and I am a big judge of pizza. I didn't get this size because I don't like pizza. You got to get over there and see my friends. They take great care of us. Gentlemen, we're transitioning from college football to the National Football League.
Dun, dun, dun,
Let's
dun.
do it.
And we're wrapping up your over-unders, guys. We've been on the clock the last couple weeks picking over-unders, and we're going to wrap up with the AFC and NFC West divisions. We're going to start with the NFC West. Carl's going to lead us off with some wisdom. I'm going to put you guys on the clock with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I did some homework for you, Patrick, because I checked the board at Caesars, and I checked Mr. Papa Giorgio's board, and the numbers are the same. So the Niners are on the board, Carl,
Well
at
done.
11.5.
Thank you for doing that, Scully. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
11.5. 11.5. That's a pretty good number, being that they won 12 games last year. They were 12-5. They do play on Monday night, first game of the season against the Jets.
At home, correct?
At home. That is correct. So here's the thing. Their lineup, the first 8 games, now they do have a couple of tough games there, but I think they can win it only because they're playing at home. So the first game out is against the Jets at home. I love my Jets, but I think San Fran, they're very talented. I really think they're going to win that game. They follow up away in Minnesota against the Vikings. That's a win. Rams at the Rams, another win. New England, win. Arizona, win. At Seattle, win. Play the Chiefs and the Cowboys at home. At home. At home. Okay, so I think they could win that game. I think they could potentially go 8-0. So with that being the case, I'm going with the over. And the last game of the season is in Arizona. And, if they don't need that game,
They could win that with their second string.
yeah, they could. So I say, they're going to win 12 to 13 games.
All right, so Carl has the over, Kinger. That's your first pick. You're on the board now. I'm just excited that you're not like John. John has to look at his notes and then think twice and then have Patrick yell at him, so you can make a good pick here.
So,
And he also said he'll flip a coin, too. So hope you're not flipping a coin.
I brought you a coin just in case you need it. It's right here. I've got one for you.
Is it heads and heads?
Well, it's a St.
It's
Patrick's
heads?
and then the Irish blessing on the back. So if you need it, it's right here.
I appreciate it. It's not needed. And I don't want to be held responsible for any of the picks of Johnny Nicolosi. Okay, first of all, these transcend his picks.
The board will represent AFC and NFC West.
Excellent.
Mark King.
I'm not a smart man, but I don't want Johnny's picks.
I want no part of that.
Be respectful,
Look,
my boy
all right,
Johnny.
The 49ers are absolutely loaded. Even if they have injuries, they have a lot of guys to fill in. They're going to go over pretty easily. They got a couple tough games, but, man, they're talented. Purdy, McCaffrey, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, if he stays around. Don't know what's happening there.
We haven't had breaking news. We thought we had it yesterday with the Steelers, and that deal fell through, they said.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but
they
you
didn't want
got
to get rid of Pickens.
You got George Kittle, and Bosa on defense is a stud, man. A stud. They're going to go an easy over.
All right. So we got 2 overs, Strick.
So bet the under
I
because
have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
yes. So I also am taking the over. So with Johnny not here, we can probably actually, if we are all on it, I think you should take it to the bank because this is my thought. They lose 3 games. Kansas City, Buffalo will be the 2 losses for sure, and then they're either going to lose to Green Bay and beat Detroit, or they're going to
Or vice
beat
versa.
Green Bay and lose to Detroit.
Are you saying Johnny has the Costanza rule? Do the opposite?
Oh yeah, if all 3 of us agree, and by the way, I have to agree.
Okay.
I've gambled with these boys enough. If we all like one thing, do the opposite.
Go hard. Hard the other way.
Trick, what about the Ravens?
No, they beat them. That's a statement game for them because I think the Ravens are going to be one of the
Ravens whipped up on them last year.
and they're going to want a little revenge. They lose 3 games: Buffalo, KC, and either
One of the Detroit or Green Bay games.
Yep, that's it. So over all day, they literally will go. If I can do math, 14-3.
Yes. I remember 17 games.
Yes, it keeps
Can't be
throwing me
500
off.
anymore.
I know, it throws me off. But yes, so 14-3.
All right. Let's slide down the West Coast to Los Angeles and the Rams. And they're on the ticket
do it.
at 8.5 there, J-Nic.
I have them winning 10 games.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's
10
silly.
games. I love Stafford.
That's just silly.
Yeah, it's not silly. It's far from silly. Okay. They have Cooper Kupp. I love Puka. They got that top running back in Williams, correct?
Yes, from Notre Dame was.
Okay. Yeah. So I see them coming out. They're gonna beat Detroit, Arizona. They do play the Niners next, but here again, New England, the Jets they're gonna lose to. I'm sorry. It's but again, Arizona they play. I just see them winning 10 games.
All right. So we got 2 overs going so far, Kinger.
Who was the second over? Asking for a friend.
Well, he's up. He has 2 overs.
Oh, he has 2 overs.
I have
Yes.
2 overs.
I thought you meant for the Rams. Sorry.
No, he has 2 overs.
Got it.
He's at 2 over. I'm going to go over as well.
Okay.
I like Matt Stafford. I really like their offense there.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody's got to lose games in that conference. It's not going to be the Rams. So I go over.
Fair.
Okay. That's good. I actually like the pick.
What's the line?
They're 8.5.
8.5.
Under.
Easy.
They win 8 games.
They win 10 games.
They win 8. I just went through it. They win 8 games.
Okay.
Can we run
All
through
right,
that?
so we got 2
Can we run through that a little bit?
If we do it quickly, go.
Okay.
You name the game. I'll tell you a win or loss.
First game against Detroit in Detroit.
Loss.
Okay. They play Arizona in Arizona.
Win.
Okay. Niners,
Loss.
home. They go to Chicago,
Win.
Green Bay,
Loss.
Raiders,
Win.
Vikings.
Win.
They go to Seattle,
Win.
Finns,
Loss.
New England,
Win.
Philly,
Loss.
New Orleans in New
Loss.
Orleans.
Loss.
Okay.
Did I stutter? I'm sorry. I'll try this again.
Buffalo at home.
How about Buffalo? And Buffalo.
Loss.
Then they go to the Niners.
Loss.
They go to the Jets,
Loss.
Arizona,
Win.
Seattle.
Win. Oh, for those keeping track at home, that would be 8 wins.
He can count.
I can. I have at least 10 fingers.
He had his fingers
Oh yeah,
as he did it,
Well, yeah.
by the way.
Luckily, I haven't lost my little pinky, so
He
I
didn't
can
have
get
to take-
I can get the 10.
Doesn't look like mine, yeah.
And he wore
Goes
flip
40
flops, so in
different
case he
directions.
needs to count his toes.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Well, that's a tough one there. All right. Let's go back up the coast to the far northwest and the Seattle, and Patrick loves to call them the Sea Chickens.
Sea chickens.
And they're on the docket this year at 7.5. J-Nic, give us some wisdom there.
Do or do not. There is no try.
So they win 9 games last year. They went 9-8. Gino and company. I think they're going to have a real stretch of losses here. They're going to lose to the 49ers. They're going to lose to Atlanta in Atlanta. They're going to lose to the Bills. They're going to lose to the Rams. They play the Niners again in San Fran. They're going to lose that one. I see them winning 6 games. I think it's going to be an under.
Okay. Under there. Kinger.
Hard under. Hard under. I got to give it to my boy Geno Smith. I like the guy. Grit. Dealing with ACL injuries my whole life, man. I got to give it to that guy. But he's one tweak away from really losing all games after that. If they don't have Geno Smith, they might not win a game.
Well,
And I like their receiving core is great, but man, you got to get them the ball. I just don't see it happening.
It's the first year after the Pete Carroll era.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. That's a hard under. Take it to the bank.
Trickster.
They win 4 games. They split with Arizona. They beat the Giants, and they beat 2 other scrubs. They win 4 games because Pete Carroll is no longer there. They've tied up $25 million on Geno, even though you're high on him, Mark. I am not. $25 million on a quarterback that should be getting paid $4 million, and that's a lot of cheddar you could spread over other areas to make you better.
That they need.
For the record, I'm not high on him. I respect him.
Oh, okay.
He's
Fair.
playing through that injury, and he can't. He's like the comeback kid.
Fair.
He's not on my team.
They win 4 games.
I'm not drafting that guy.
He's a
No.
gunslinger.
They win 4 games because they split with Arizona. They could win 5 if they take both from Arizona, but I think they split.
Okay. Well, that's a good transition. We have to move to the Valley of the Sun to wrap up the NFC West. So, and the Arizona Cardinals. They're also on the docket, Carl, at 7.5. So what do we think is going to happen in the Valley of the Sun? They've got your sleeper wide receiver.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But they went 4-13 last year. I mean, Kyler Murray, healthy Kyler Murray is dangerous. Marvin Harrison Jr., they could simply double team him. I still think it's going to be an under. At best, I have them winning 4 games. Unless, of course, the Niners, the last game of the season, the Niners don't need it. Okay, I can see them, oddly enough, beating the Niners.
Okay.
Under.
I still think San Francisco can beat them with their second team, but
It'll be a frozen day in hell.
and I said this a couple weeks ago. It's a
And they
huge,
beat the 49ers, let me tell you.
yeah, it's a huge year for Kyler Murray. This is make or break. Obviously,
Well, he's got the receiver. Some would call him a sleeper, not me, but he's got the receiver that's going to be
He's
super
a
special.
rookie. Of course, he's a
or he may
sleeper.
be back and trying to play baseball next year.
Can you be a sleeper if you're like projected top 10?
If you're drafted number 4 overall, no.
No. Thank you.
All right, Kinger.
Thank you.
7.5.
No, not happening. Not happening. Even though I love the rookies, Carl's boy, Marvin Harrison Jr., love that guy. He's a rookie. Calm down. But watch out for Trey Benson out of Florida State. Now, you got James Conner there, and he's my touchdown guy.
Did we see a bit of a pattern here with the Knowles?
Listen, them running backs from Florida State, they don't play.
Ever served in a forward area?
You need me on that wall, Carl. I'm telling you, Trey Benson's going to get some playing time, but you got 2 rookies as a star in the NFL. That don't work. That's not going to happen.
I'm
under.
Really starting to get worried about when you and John come back from Dublin and you have to clear customs.
Don't put us on this couch together.
And they
That'll
give
be trouble.
And they give you a cavity
Don't do
search,
it.
and they see that you have
Don't
matching Chief Osceola tattoos.
Don't put you anywhere together.
You're not wrong.
All right, Trickster, wrap up the Valley of the Sun for me.
What is the line again?
It's 7.5.
Yeah. I have a better chance of becoming a porn star than they do hitting that over. Let me tell you, they win.
What's holding you back, Patrick? Seriously.
They win 3 games, maybe 4. Actually, you know what? They win 4. They win 4 games, and that's because the 49ers are playing their third-string defense because they don't want to get their backups hurt. If the 49ers need to win, they win 3 games.
All right, we may
I
need,
mean, I
after
honestly
that
feel-
comment, we may need a new host because I'm having a hard time.
I mean, I honestly feel like we're missing something. I mean, 7.5. I mean,
Yeah,
what
I
are
am-
they saying? I mean, I just
Man,
don't see it.
That's a lot of time.
That's just stupid.
Scully, did you have a mental visual of him saying that?
Well,
Is that what's throwing you off right now?
I'm looking at him. That comment comes out with Mr. Miyagi's detailing shirt on his T-shirt.
No pun intended. Wax on, wax,
Wax
off.
Wax on, wax off, baby.
All right, so we got no chance with the Cardinals covering. All right, let's move to the AFC West, the defending Super Bowl champions. Carl, let's lead us off. They're also like the 49ers out of the West Division. They're at 11.5 as well. Can Mahomes and his boys go for 3?
I think they're going to win the division easily. It's a weak division to begin with. They were 11-6 last year, I think, and the number you said is what? 11.5?
11.5,
Yeah,
yep.
I'd say it's going to be an over. They play. I mean, they do have a tough game, first game against Baltimore. So I do have them losing that, but then they win the next 4 games against Cincy, the Falcons, Chargers, New Orleans. They go to San Fran. I think they lose that game. Here again, I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be an over.
All right. Kinger, 11.5 on the defending champions.
I'm just waiting for the day that Kansas City just drops off the map and they go like 4 wins. But it's just not coming. I mean, they are challenged on offense.
You want to know when that day? You know when that day is going to come?
Yes, I do.
Retirement.
That'll be 2035 when 15 retires.
When Patrick Mahomes retires.
Yes.
He just finds a way, man. He finds a way.
They have a great defense.
Not to get off topic, but think about this. You're going to 11. Carl said they were 11-6 last year. They did not play very well during the regular season. They caught lightning in the bottle down the stretch and were unbelievable in the playoffs.
Demi
Pacquiao was really, really tough. I mean,
Travis
that kid can
Kelce
run
and
hard.
Rashid Rice were the. But
and Kelsey's a tight end, which,
Yeah.
by the way, no disrespect, probably the best tight end in the league. But name me one of his main
Marquise
receivers.
Brown, don't even.
he's out.
Yeah,
Got
he is
shoulder.
out.
He's done.
Oh, so he's done. So you got a Sky Moore.
So that
You got
actually could
Xavier
change it.
Worthy,
Yeah,
Patrick
Xavier
Sleeper.
Worthy.
Xavier
baby,
Worthy.
Rookie of the Year.
Oh, look out!
Mark
You got it for
down.
$1 million already, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No,
look out!
He's like $3 million on our thing.
I still am going to go over because of number 15. And now I will preface that If something happens, if there's a ring in the future and there's a Swifty Kelsey wedding, then I go under. But until that happens, I'm taking Mahomes to the bank for the under. For the over.
Mahomes said today in an interview that he really misses Brown.
Yeah.
Well, because he could fly, and the other one's a rookie in green.
Well, he opens the other guys up.
Right.
Fly.
Yeah. All right, Patrick.
Over. They lose 4 games. They're going to go 13-4. It'll be easy. Xavier's going to come around like a champ. It'll be great. They only lose 4 games.
There's only two things that can derail the Chiefs.
Mahomes getting hurt.
And
the
Swifty
Andy
wedding.
Reid clock management.
Swifty wedding.
No, breakup.
Oh.
I'm
Then
a
he's going to
Swiftie,
play. Then he's
and
going
I
to play
love
even
Trav,
harder.
But
A breakup, they may not lose a game.
they've asked for their privacy, so we'll see.
They might go undefeated.
All right, let's go back to the coast. The Los Angeles Chargers in Mr. Harbaugh's first year. They're at 8.5, which I think is a big number on that team. Actually,
I do too. I mean, I don't know how they're getting that number. They lost some key personnel in Eckler. They lost some top receivers, Mike Williams, and who's that other top receiver? That Allen guy, Keenan Allen, right?
Yep.
Okay, they lost them. So here again, first game. I mean, they went 5-12 last year. I have them winning 4 games. I mean, I think they're going to have a very, very challenging year this year.
Okay.
Carl's on the right track.
He's on the under.
Carl is absolutely on the right track.
Of course I am. I'm on.
Eckler is such a huge part of that offense, and he's not there anymore. You got Gus Edwards, quality back, but he's not going to be on my fantasy team. So you're going to replace. You got no Keenan Allen. Now you got DJ Chark. He was good in Jacksonville, a utility guy. He's not setting any records.
Correct.
And as good as Hebert is, he's going to be on his back and have nobody to throw it to.
All right, so we got 2 unders. Trickster.
Sans my
Come
paper,
on,
we will get
know
there.
under.
What is the line? 8.5.
Yep.
8.5.
Not a chance.
They win 9 games.
Ooh.
Would you like to go through it, Yoda?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I'm firing on all cylinders.
All right.
Do you?
I'm gonna use my fingers again to count.
All right. They're home against the Raiders.
Win.
Okay. They go to Carolina.
Win.
Okay. They go to Pittsburgh.
Win. Okay.
All right. You know the Steelers are in one of the toughest. They have one of the toughest schedules.
Continue.
Okay. The Chiefs.
Loss.
Okay. In Denver.
Win.
Endeavor.
In
Denver.
Denver.
Oh, in Denver. That's a win. That's 4.
Broncos.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Apparently, I can't hear it, but continue.
Okay. They travel to Arizona.
Win.
They're home against the Aints.
Loss.
What?
Okay. No, that's that, I got that. I got that.
Seriously?
They go to Cleveland.
Win.
Okay. The Tidians, as you say it, the Titans.
They're gonna smoke the Tidians. Like I'm not gonna say. They're just gonna beat them.
Cincy.
Loss.
Ravens.
Loss.
They travel to Atlanta.
Win.
Okay. They travel to KC.
Loss.
Okay. They play the Bucks.
Loss.
Denver again.
Win.
Okay. They're at New England.
Oh, they're going 0-16. That's a win.
You're at 10 wins.
Okay. And then they're at the Raiders.
Win. So I will take away Pittsburgh, and I'll take away New Orleans, and they're
not going to be the Raiders twice. Not a chance.
Yeah.
They're 9-8.
9-8.
Okay.
They are, and that's taking away Pittsburgh.
I am a sexy bitch.
And you know this,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That,
baby.
that
wrong.
beats the 9-8, beats
Wow.
the number. All right, we got to keep it moving.
Yep.
We'll go to Vegas and the Raiders.
Did we have to talk about them, really?
Oh, I'm a big fan of their coach. I think he's done a great job, but they're talent challenged. But and I love Max Crosby. But Yoda, they're on the docket at 6.5.
Under O'Connell, Minshew, under.
Okay, Kinger.
Oh, wait. I do want to say something.
What?
I still have the floor. So
I'm gonna yank that rug out from under you.
I wanna
The
give-
congressman from New York has the floor.
I want to give you this run. Okay?
Patience.
They in the middle of the season, okay, they travel to Baltimore. Okay, then they play the Chiefs. Okay, then they go to Cincy. Then they go to Miami. Okay, then Denver, but then they go to KC, and then they go to Tampa Bay, and then Atlanta, and then the Jags, and then they travel to New Orleans.
Do they have the Jags at home, or they got to go to the Jags?
They have the Jags at home.
So
Yes.
you just listed off 6 trips from Vegas back east.
Yeah.
On their schedule.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it is.
They
a
won't come
tough
anywhere
middle.
close to 6.5.
And Scully, I'm going to jump in front of Mark because
It's-
this is the timing to his point, so I'm going to jump in front of you, King.
All right.
Sorry.
Fire away.
You played. How defeated do you feel when you are 0-4, then you go to 0-5, and you go to 0-6? Meaning, when you have that run, and it's, again, it's not because
First pick in the draft.
that's what you,
Fortunately, as a player, I fortunately was never in that position.
fair enough,
But I can tell you, if I have had friends, you know what they start doing at Thanksgiving? Where are they going on vacation?
correct. And that's the point I'm making on that stretch that Yoda just yelled out. They're going to go 0-4. They might at best go 1-6.
Yeah, it's hard.
And when that happens, if you think Adams was pissed off and receivers from last year, you haven't seen anything.
Yeah, man.
He ain't wrong.
Now that they've gone to 17 games, but most of the coaches for years used
4
to
game
break
blocks.
You got it. They break it down into 4 quarters,
And you can
gotta
say
try
that,
to
and
try
that's
to win
cute.
your quarter.
Like, I'm eventually going to win the lottery one day, but
Me too.
The fact of the matter is, when you go and lose that many in a row because you're playing better teams, you
It's
get
hard.
down on yourself. This is an under all day.
And then a 4-hour plane ride home.
Yeah, because those are fun. I'm sure you're playing 7.5 on losing games.
Oh God! Let's not get into the Devil's game.
Devil's game.
Let's not get into the Devil's game. All right, Kinger, what do you think?
You couldn't be more wrong.
Oh,
They're gonna go over. All right, here. Gardner Minshew.
that's
You
the most
can
monkey
laugh.
shit
Oh,
I've
wow.
ever.
That's just silly.
Wow.
That is just silly.
Gardner Minshew, the
And
stash.
we brought him for John.
The stash is going to get it done.
Although it does sound like something John would say.
He's got one of the best receivers in the league with Devontae Adams. I know they're all show dogs, right? They're all show ponies, and they're going to show their ass.
Double team.
But
I mean, they're gonna
but he
double team
cannot be
him.
stopped. He is one of the best players in the league. And then Max Crosby, as you mentioned, Scully, is a stud.
Yeah.
And you think it's a hard time to go west to east? What about coming and you start dropping off NFL guys with a ton of money in their pocket in Vegas? Oh, come on. That's going to be tough.
It's usually why they stay out at Lake Las Vegas and don't stay on the Strip.
I'm telling you.
Correct.
I'm
No
telling you.
casinos.
Well, look,
Come on,
they're going to
Cletus.
start off. They're going to start off. I think they got a puncher's chance against the Chargers starting off first game. They might win that game, but they're going to lose the Ravens. They're probably going to beat the Panthers and the Browns. They might be 3-1.
could be 3-1
They
in the
might be
first quarter.
3-1 starting out. Now 2-2 at the worst.
Telling me there's a chance.
There's a chance. Take the over. Take the over, baby.
All right, let's wrap up the AFC West with the Denver Broncos and Mr. Payton's second year in Denver with a new quarterback.
Yes.
And their number is a low one. It's 5.5. See, Nick, what's your words of wisdom on the Broncos?
I have them as an over. I think they win 8 games. They were 8-9 last year. I think they're going to be in the same neighborhood. Bo Nix, I like the kid. Stidman. I just think what under? No, I like the over in this game. I mean this. For them.
All right, Kinger.
Good Lord. Never bet with this guy, by the way. He will take you to the broke house. First of all, this is under. Bo Nix had 61 starts in college, right? 45-3 touchdowns versus picks. But he is a rookie. Not a chance. And who's he going to throw the ball to? Who's going to score? Marvin Mims is one of his top wide receivers who has 1 career touchdown.
Not if you count his punt returns for touchdowns.
Well, that doesn't count. You can't throw it to a punt returner. Who scores on this team? Who scores on this team?
They got nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough.
They
one.
will find a way.
Jay Williams is the running back.
So you're going under?
They will find a way to go under
Okay.
the number.
Trickster, wrap us up on the AFC West.
5.5
5.5.
over. They win 7.
You think they get to 7?
They play the Raiders twice. They play the Chargers twice. That's going to be at least 3 wins. 3 right there.
Okay.
And they have to somehow miraculously pull out 3 more wins and the entire rest of the season? Come on. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on,
Yes.
shooter.
So
Come on, man.
I think they win 7
Our
games.
homage to Boomer there.
And I think they win. They hit the over and they win 7 games.
Okay. All right. So that wraps up our AFC and NFC West. All of our over and unders for the season. These guys then it gets really close to start picking games. When we come back, we're going to get into kickers and defenses in the fantasy world. Don't forget to follow us, like, and subscribe on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook. I got to remember
All of those bitches.
And,
All that
and
shit.
TikTok.
All that social media shit.
And again, we want to thank our friends at 3 City Pizza, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Tito's Cantina.
Welcome back to the Reality Check, and we're into our segment of fantasy football as we wrap up before we start making weekly picks with the kickers and defenses. And boy, my favorite position on the planet, the kicker. That's why they take separate buses to the stadium before the game. All right.
Not.
Oh, no. I hear that, shooter. My soccer guy over there. He's killing me behind the board. All right, J-Nic. Let's throw down some Yoda wisdom on the kicker. Who's your top kicker? Who's your sleeper?
Well, let me see. Yeah.
That is awkward.
Kicker. Okay. I would not spend a lot of money on a kicker. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, we're in this salary cap league where you want to spend the least on a kicker. You want to try to find, in our league, it's $1 million kicker. I know in some snake drafts, it may not be the case. So one of the kickers, okay, that I like is a rookie. Okay, I could choose like Zerline. I could choose, all the top kickers, but this is what I'm going with. I'm going to go with Joshua Carty, a rookie out of, there's a little giggle back there. What's, no, nothing?
You're
I think
hearing-
somebody-
you're hearing
I'm
things.
just waiting for it.
You were waiting for it because that's a shitty pick.
Again, you're not going to want to spend a lot of money on a kicker. Now, this kid, first season with Stanford, this kid went 27 for 27 on extra points. Okay, he went 10 for 15 for field goals. 2022, 24 for 25 in extra points, 18 for 18 in field goals, and one of those field goals, one was a 61-yarder. Okay.
In college. In college.
Correct.
Okay,
But
just
again,
checking.
focused. I mean, if the kid's focused, he'll fit right in.
Can we
was
call
that one
He's
guy?
talking about a
Who
rookie
was-
kicker, Scully. Can you cut him off,
Wait,
please?
whoa. Wait, hey. Okay. And then in 2023, he went 20 for 21 in extra points and 23 for 27 in field goals. Now, Trick, didn't you have this $1 million kicker in our league?
Rodrigo.
Yes.
$1 million.
And did he not light it up?
Rodrigo.
So, Joshua Carty, my pick.
He took me to the promised land in 22.
Kinger, help
You're
me. 'cause
welcome because I gave you
Look,
one.
this guy, yes, obviously, get a kicker late. Don't spend a ton of money. But if you're going to spend a little bit of money, don't be afraid to get a cowboy on your squad. Cowboys can't stick in the end zone. They kick a lot of field goals. They're indoors, which means a lot. You want to have a team that can't put it in the end zone, that kicks indoors, doesn't have to deal with a Buffalo wind. Brandon Aubrey, my boy. Congratulations to the birth of his first son, by the way.
Oh,
Very
nice.
cool.
And
Very
Nice
cool.
touch.
And that's a good pick. I mean, you're indoor and
And Shooter, did you know he played
weather
soccer
related.
at God's University, Notre Dame?
I did.
And he also played for 2 years of Major League Soccer. The kid went.
Is that why he's an NFL kicker now?
That's why he's an NFL kicker right now because
Again, it's all
wanted
about
he wanted a
salary.
hotter wife.
It's all about salary.
He
You
wanted
can
a
spend-
hotter wife. He went 10 for 10 for 50 plus yards.
You copied on my homework, King.
Count those points up, baby. I got it right
Found
here.
a 10.
95% from the field last year. Strong. Lock
it's
that
strong,
in.
But how much is
I
it?
had
How
him
much
in
is
the
it gonna be?
Cowboys.
I had him. A lot of points.
He said,
Lot of points, man.
Carl, he prefaced it, if you want to spend the money, you got to get Aubrey.
Spend the money, get Aubrey. You will
I
not
gotta
regret
spend
it.
on
By
a
the way,
tight
Mr.
end,
King,
receivers, kickers.
Mr. King, now that you have a child at Florida Atlantic, you best learn the Florida Atlantic Owl Fight song.
You're
which
gonna
I
learn
just played.
today.
I just played it.
I like it.
I was
like
dancing to it.
I had my owl shirt on yesterday as I moved Victoria in, and it was brutal.
Preach
9
on.
hours of move-in for a girl
Preach on.
versus 2 hours of move-in for my son at Florida State.
Right.
Good Lord.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Scully.
Trickster, help me, because every time I look every time I look at the camera, I see something hanging out of J-Nic's sweatshirt, and I'm trying to figure
Chomping
out
at
what
the
the hell it is. Little hands.
It's a tiny hand. It's a tiny hand. No, real quick. So, because I can't believe we spent this much time on kickers. One, King, you copy my homework because yes, the point I was going to make is for FanDuel, if you have to have a kicker or a salary cap league, always go for $1 million kicker because they're not going to what you spend in them will not warrant the money because at best they're going to get 15 points and a kicker that's $1 million is going to get 9. So you're talking about 6 points. So it's not a big deal. So don't waste any money. Get $1 million kicker. Done. On snake drafts, obviously you're drafting at the very end, but if you've got your core lineup set and you want someone good, Aubrey, I'm a big fan of the 50-plus yard field goals. That's what I look at. Indoors is obviously always a point, but if they're good on 50 yards plus, that's who you want to go if you want to grab a kicker early. If you don't get one of these three, in my opinion, just pick whoever's left. It's not going to matter.
Bingo.
So one is the Dallas kicker, one is the Chicago kicker, and one is Decker from San Diego.
By the way,
sorry, the Chargers from L.A.
Hey, Kinger, cut it there. We've talked for 9 minutes about freaking kickers.
That's just
Let's
too
move
much.
on to
Yes.
defenses. All right. See, Nick,
Cowboys had the most field goals.
That's not a good thing, man.
that means their red zone offense sucks.
For your kicker, it is, damn it.
That means their red zone offense sucks.
That's right. That's what I'm
You're
saying.
going to still lose fantasy.
All right. Moving on. Exactly.
Moving on.
All right. Let's move to defenses. See, Nick, give me some wisdom on the defense,
All right.
please.
Can't handle the truth.
My defenses. I do like the Saints. I think they have the easiest schedule. They had 29 turnovers, 18 interceptions, 11 fumbles. San Fran's always a great pick. Again, they had 28 turnovers. The Bears, solid defense. They have the third easiest schedule, so they would also be one of my top 5. KC, good defense, but instead of KC, I think I'm really it's between, well, again, rounding up my top 5 is the Jets. I think if the Jets can go ahead and not spend as much time on the field, okay, I think if their offense can go ahead and put some points on the board, I think the Jets are going to have an amazing, defensive year. Last year, as long as they have been on the field, they still intercepted 17 passes. They created 10 fumbles for a total of 27 overall turnovers. And then and then of course you have the Browns, which had the best defense in the league last year. Okay.
Sorry.
Moving on. All right, Trick. I get it. All right.
Hey,
What do you got?
Carl,
What do you got?
Carl, before I turn over to King, I'm going to go with you on your Jets, Jets, but it just depends on one word.
Of course.
And one word only.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron. I know it.
Aaron.
But I feel good. I really feel good that he's going to make it through this season.
He stays healthy, they win 12 games.
Yeah.
All right, Kinger.
All right, really quick. This is somewhat easy. If you got a little bit of an intellect, I get it. The Saints have the easiest schedule. That's easy. However, they were middle of the pack for points scored last year. You marry the easiest schedule with the most points. You look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins have the 8th easiest schedule, and they had the 3rd highest points scored last year. Go with the Dolphins.
That's last year.
Wow.
That's last year.
That's last year.
That is last year.
Prior
Okay?
performance.
They lost. They
performance
lost some
does
key
not predict
personnel
future
on the
performance.
defense.
Sure it does.
Okay. I like that. That's a good pick. That a boy, you flashed.
Yeah.
You flashed hard. All right, Trick, wrap us up on the defenses, please.
I'll keep this brief. As usual, Carl copied my homework. But he now thinks he's
God,
funny.
you-
You know who he is? He's
You still
Kamala
talking?
Harris.
You still
I'm
talking?
Trump, and whatever I do, he does. He copies me.
He copies you.
He copies me.
Can you cackle, Carl?
Anyway,
We don't, and just to preface, we don't tax fantasy winnings.
no, we do not. Matter of fact, it's unreported.
It's a tip. It's a tip.
It's just a tip.
Just a tip.
Like the pole vaulter.
Done.
Anyway, for the money, for the value, the easiest schedule, to your point, King and Carl, the Saints are the way to go for salary cap, meaning if you really want to pony up, the best defense that's going to be in this NFL this year will be the Jets, assuming Ron stays healthy, because they won't, to Carl's point, they won't be on the field. They are loaded at defense. They have a defensive-minded coach, which is why they brought in Aaron to run the offense. Even though they may have a coordinator, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers' offense. The head coach is going to focus on defense, which he's really good at. Their defense is going to be the best. The second best, in my opinion, again, you're paying big money for them, but if you have a hard-on for defenses, San Francisco is the way to go. And I'll leave it at that. But New Orleans is the best value.
Well, you guys are all over the board there. That's kind of good, though. I like that.
Get it while it's hot.
It gives us some choices, and then obviously
you
we'll get
think,
into the
Scott?
fantasy picks. The best
do you like?
defense. I actually like the Dolphins pick, but I'm going to stick with the Kansas City Chiefs.
If you're looking at FanDuel, just go matchups, man. Pick the guy, the quarterback that
If
just
you're on
stepped in.
FanDuel.
FanDuel, yeah.
Yes.
Just pick the matchups. You got a
I
quarterback
agree.
that went down, boom, get that guy.
Yeah.
Team with a bunch of turnovers, they're playing, boom.
Please regard me.
Please regard me.
Well, that wraps up our fantasy picks, or not picks, but
Thoughts.
top thoughts for the year. We'll get into actually picking when we come down the weeks, but we'll come back with in just a minute with final thoughts. But please follow us, The Reality Check. Follow, subscribe, and like. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of that above. And again, we're shout out to our folks at 3 City Pizza, and we'll be right back for our final thoughts. Thank you. And welcome back to The Reality Check, the truth as we see it. Well, guys, it's the final segment, and I'm going to let you have your final thoughts for the day. And then Shooter's going to end us with some words of wisdom, and we'll get ready for our big event next week. But Mr. King filling in for Mr. Nicolosi.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic job, by the way. Well done.
Great job,
well
brother.
Done.
Thank you, Patrick.
Great job.
Step in.
Thank you, Yoda.
Yeah.
Step
Very
up.
proud.
What's your final thought? What's going on in the world?
All right, being a rookie here, I got to go with this. What is up with the kickoff this year for the NFL?
Great.
It looks like a hot mess. First of all, they're copying the USFL or XFL or whatever the heck that is.
The UFL now.
The UFL
They've
now.
blended the two.
Right. So 5 yards apart, you got to kick it in a 20-yard little square box and hope it goes out of the end zone to get it to the 20, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
That's just stupid.
So you can't just kick it high and pray. You got to kick a little runner down there. It's a mess. Now you got 9 players lined up. You can't touch anybody until the ball hits the ground or gets touched. This is going to look like a debacle for me. You can only kick an onside kick in the fourth quarter. I just don't know, man.
Yeah, they're trying to be too overprotective.
It's going to be. I'm all about player safety, Scully. You know, CTE.
Oh, player safety, but let's add 2 more games to the regular season.
Right,
Okay.
and
Let's talk out of one side of our butt and then the other.
beat their ass all year long.
Right.
Man. It's going to be interesting. I know we're going to get used to it. It's probably going to be 4 or 5 weeks in, we won't even notice it. But how is this going to change the strategy for the kickoff?
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
You can't get a Zerline that just goes and pounds it in the end zone every time.
And the ball comes to 35.
And so now you got to go. You might go all the way out to the 40.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if you don't get it back there, you want a little squib kick. Get it in the end zone. All right. Okay. In the final thought, the Knowles in Dublin, 12.5 points favorites. Take the over, baby. Take the point. Take the over.
Take Florida State minus 12.
Take the Florida State minus 12.5.
Okay, so take Florida State.
Give the points.
Give the points.
There we go. Okay.
Take my Knowles
Okay. Well, it is the Yellow Jackets. So
Take it to the bank.
So.
There's 47,000 fans in the stands. 27,000 internationals. 20,000 of those people are going to be Florida State people. Take it to the bank. You watch.
Okay.
You can see this shirt right here. You can see a lot of this going on, Patrick. That chant is going to come international. You're going to hear it across from the pond all the way over here.
It's so easy. Anyone can do it. I would hope so.
Like, this is so hard for your Gators. That's really tough.
But we have multiple chants.
Don't.
Exactly.
All right.
Whatever.
Well, all we're asking you to do is be safe on your travels.
Have fun.
Yeah,
Be safe.
enjoy.
We need you back.
Thank you, boys.
Watch J-Nic.
I appreciate you guys inviting me. Love it.
And
You guys
make
are
sure the
awesome.
box jellyfish returns home.
Yes. I need
All right,
Yes.
Trickster.
Puffer.
So what sands my paper is Harbaugh. I understand he's a liberal. I get it. And I understand he cheats, like most liberals. Fine. We can accept that. He's no longer welcome at Michigan. The penalty they put on him was a joke. But what I don't understand is why you would want to bring a cancer into your house. Rumors are he's trying to get Colin Kaepernick, who I understand he has a man crush on because he was his quarterback while he was a coach of the Niners, which for the record had a losing record at 28-30. Lost the Super Bowl to his brother, so that had to be a little sandpaper in his drawers. But why does he have such a man crush on this guy that does nothing but cause controversy? And he is going to be a cancer in that locker room. Why on earth would you bring him in there? Why would you want to bring him in there?
Is he trying to get fired, Patrick? Just to collect the check?
I don't know. Maybe he's truly trying to just tank so he can get the first round pick next year. And I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand the logic behind it. He settled with the NFL on an undisclosed amount because he felt like there was collusion. As opposed to going to court, they settled outside of it. Fine. I don't like the guy. I think he's a cancer, and I think this is a problem for Harbaugh to want to bring him in.
Well, we'll give you only one correction. He's still welcome at Ann Arbor. He chose not to come back to be the opening captain. He didn't want to be a distraction. But
Okay.
I will tell you from his mindset, he thinks he can rehabilitate the guy. And that's probably the way he's looking at it because he did. You touched on it. He played for him.
So rehabilitate. He's going to make him stand up?
Yeah, are you?
Well,
I'm just telling you, the guy's it is ridiculous. He's a cancer. Why would you even bring him in?
yeah. Well,
Let him make Nike commercials. The only people I won't go down this rabbit hole. I'm just telling you, he's a cancer. Don't bring him in. Harbaugh, you're making a huge mistake. I understand you don't always think levelly, but this is a bad one.
he sands your paper.
He does.
That's
He
the line
sand
with
my
it.
paper.
All right, Yoda, give us some Yoda wisdom.
Well, in true Katzenjammer fashion, okay, here's something relatively short and simple. Okay? It goes like this. Not to get too technical, but according to chemistry, alcohol is a solution. There you go.
There is no try. There is only do.
All right,
Dude,
I want you to think
drink
about
alcohol.
that.
Oh, it's already hit me. Like about 8 Coors Lights. It is a solution to a lot of
Yes, it
problems.
is. On Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Yes, it is
I think
a
it's
solution.
any day that ends with a Y.
Yeah. 100%.
All right, Shooter. Shooter, what do we got in this day in sports, my friend?
Take us home, baby.
Oh, we got a little history. In
Come on.
1965 at Laurel Valley Golf Club PGA Championship.
Say when.
Say when. Dave Marr wins his only major title, beating Billy Casper and, do we know?
Arnold Palmer.
Billy G.
Jack
King.
Nicklaus by
Oh,
2 strokes.
that was my guess.
1990, Mark McGuire is the first to hit 30 home runs in each of his first 4 seasons. Pretty damn good.
1990?
1990. Mr. Judge now for the Yankees, by the way, just hit 300. Fastest ever to 300 home runs.
900 and what games? 962 games, I think it is.
I don't have that exact.
But it's the fastest ever, which
Fastest
is incredible.
ever.
That's awesome.
In 1993, the great Nolan Ryan pitches his 324th and final victory as a Ranger. He beat the Indians 4-1.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me that's the day he knocked the shit out of Robin Ventura at the White Sox.
That was that.
Knuckle sandwich, baby.
And lastly, 1991, Tiger Woods wins his second major by beating that little pissant Sergio Garcia at Medina Country Club, one of our hosts' former homes, for the PGA Championship.
1999. Think about that.
Think about it.
Wow.
Birthday today, 1963. Carl, this is kind of a little hitting home, and for our boy, Big Bobby, one of your favorites and probably an MVP for the Jets history, Bubby Brister, turned 61 today. Is he Hall of Famer for Jets and the Steelers, I think.
Bobby Brister in the Hall of Fame.
Bobby Brister.
Bobby Brister, yeah.
Double
and
B.
God rest
Bobby
his
boy.
soul today. The late, great Mickey Mantle died at the age of 63, liver cancer. 1956, he had a triple crown. He was a 20-time All-Star, 7-time World Series champion, and a 3-time MVP, Mickey Mantle. What a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and
Yes, he is.
amazing if he would have played in this era, the way they take care of their bodies and not the 42 beers he had.
You mean have
before.
another job?
Yeah.
And then play baseball?
Yeah.
Smoking 6-packs and then going out.
Marlboro Reds.
Hit the field.
That's Babe Ruth.
But boy, he could play. That's
man.
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Shooter. Well, gentlemen, great job today. But
You as well.
one of the great things we're looking forward to next week, we have our first live in-studio guest. We have 6-time UFC champion, Mr. Tito Ortiz, one of our dear friends.
Tito.
Tito's Cantina.
Bring it on. Bring it on, Tito.
This has been the Reality Check. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And we will see you next week with Tito Ortiz. Have a great week. Thank you.
Come get you some.
Get you some.
Well done, boys. I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
Late, great Colonel Sanders.